Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Brown Mouthwash. That is BROWNMOUFWASH. I am your host, Matthew, and I'm joined today by five beautiful men from the University of Tennessee. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Wonder.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Starting off
What
rock.
happened?
Uh, um, introductions are always difficult. Well, first we have Hoangnha. Say hello, Hoangnha.
Hi, everybody.
Next we have Lewis.
What's up? I'm Lewis.
Then we have Corbin
What's up?
and Brian
What's up, everybody?
and Justin.
Hey. What?
As you guys can probably tell, this is going to be a very fun show. And I'm excited to have some good conversations and all that. But first, we have to start our episode by taking a swig of mouthwash. Today's mouthwash is 12% alcohol. I personally have a blueberry vodka. Mm-hmm. Do
Yeah,
any of you guys have anything?
I gotta make chicken with bacon. I got a Bold Rock green apple.
I got a key lime rum cream liqueur stuff.
Got vodka.
I got Guinness mixed with cranberry juice.
Interesting.
Guinness and cranberry. Wow. Well,
Wow.
cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
No, I got lettuce on my pants. Oh no.
Okay. All right, we're starting off great. So, as you guys know, Halloween was not too long ago. So we are all dressed in costumes. Obviously, if you're just listening, you can't see the costumes, and that's your loss. But if you are watching this on YouTube or somewhere else, you can see that we are dressed in costume. I am Arthur. And what else? What other costumes do we have going on today?
Justin, what are you doing, bro?
He's Mr. Oculus.
I'm Robo Man.
Oculus.
Okay. So I'm Arthur. Corbin.
I'm a wrestler.
Nice. Lewis.
I'm a NASCAR driver. I need to find his name. His name's Kevin something. But yeah.
How do you not know who you're dressed as, bro?
I didn't look at the back, bro.
What?
Just go to back to the mirror real quick. Let's so we can read it.
Bro,
Just
you
turn
got a
around, we
mirror
can
right
read it.
there.
Here, you guys can read it. Turn around. What does it say?
Jimmy John's?
It's Jimmy John's.
It's not Jimmy John's. It's Kevin something.
It's the Jimmy John himself.
No, his name's on here. Hint. It's okay. We'll look at it later.
I'm so sorry to all the listeners. Hoangnha, what are you?
I'm the Joker.
No, I mean your costume.
Oh.
Yeah. The mask is nice. I like that. Does it light up?
Yeah. It's lit up.
I think it's light up right now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh,
damn. That should look kind of spooky.
Dang, he turned the
That's
lights on.
legit.
That thing changing colors and stuff. Oh wait, those are the lights in here.
Just a room.
Give yourself a nick.
I'm upset. And Brian, what are you dressed up like?
I'm a janky sushi chef.
Dang, you got your own knife and everything. Nice. Okie doke. Well, we are celebrating the spirit of Halloween today. And this is pretty much one of the only times of the year where you're allowed to dress up like anything and only be judged mildly. So if you guys that are listening dressed up as something for Halloween, whether you went somewhere or not, because it's still a pandemic, we definitely want to know what you guys were. So send us a message or something. Follow us at Brown Mouthwash Pod on social media. Send emails into brownmouthwash@gmail.com. Leave comments on the posts and everything, and let us know what you guys were for Halloween. We love to see and hear y'all's creative things. Okay, so we're gonna get right into the first pour. If you guys don't know or haven't watched the first episodes, the first pour is how we start our day, and that is when we talk about current issues or relevant events that are happening. Obviously, one of the biggest things going on right now is Halloween. So, guys, what is your favorite part of Halloween, or I guess like what are you excited about this year for Halloween, even though the pandemic has kind of messed up regular plans?
I'll say for me was like we already did this, but just like haunted houses, and yeah, just doing everybody. And I used to have like a death fear of haunted houses, but I think I came over it because one year was behind me, so I think I've been good. Yeah,
Also,
haunted houses for sure.
before we walked in, I was in front of him, and then he gets in front of me as we're walking in. So I'm in the back the entire time.
And then this man, because this guy with a chainsaw was like right behind him, and one he was like fucking pushing against me. He's like, go faster, and then he just grabs my shoulders, yanks me, and like gets in front of me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And I said, "Now, one day," so I yank him back, and I get it back in front of him.
You love to see it.
Halloween. I like it. I need time to think. Hold on.
I'd probably say that the costume aspect.
Yes.
It's
For
fun,
sure.
like embodying a different like personality and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, that is pretty dope. I think what's cool is I think my favorite costumes are the ones that people make. Like homemade costumes, I think are the best because some people go all out and even whenever they're wearing it or I guess walking around and actually embodying that character, like you were saying, because it's one thing to just put on a elaborate costume and that's just what you are. But if you are really like committing to that thing, I'm just like, yo, that's fire. I wish that's one thing I'm bummed about this year is that there aren't going to be people out. Well, no, I'm lying. There are going to be people out regardless. I'm not going to be out like that.
You won't be able to see him. That's it. You won't be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just see all the what everybody's come up with.
All right, here we go. I think I got something now. Halloween. I appreciate and respect the fact that it's kind of like a whole time of year to remind people that like of fear, and I feel like that's pretty important. And like is to like know that, fear is like a real thing, but there's ways you can conquer it, but let's not get too deep into that. But I just appreciate the fact that it reminds people, life's scary.
Yeah, that's facts.
I love like all the Halloween decorations people put up. It's a
Facts.
Yes, I do.
I will say every year one of my neighbors puts up these decorations and it creates this really high pitched like sonic boom, like not a sonic boom, but it's like a screech. And it's just every time. I don't know what they're using. I'm like wanting to collapse. Like I can't take walks over there.
Bro, I like the weather. Like around this time of year, just like I just miss like trick or treating and it being like spooky, like cold outside, and you're like walk around your friends, and you're just like, oh shit, that person got a scary ass costume. Let's go the other way. I just like the weather and stuff. That's my favorite part. Fall's the best time of year, in my opinion.
I agree with that, in my opinion.
I feel like now that we're older, though, I really like scaring the little kids.
Huh?
Damn, you mean, bro? What the?
Yeah,
Bro, you ain't got kids to scare this year, bro. You could have just
You're
scared
not
yourself.
gonna like jump out with the whole chainsaw. I mean, like you're just like, boo. Like I don't know, it's funny. It's funny.
Bro, Brian's gonna be
legit,
that.
like, screw-
Brian's gonna be that guy that like turns his house into a haunted house just so he can get the satisfaction to scare little kids.
No, actually, in high school, my neighbors did that, and like they would invite me and like to like help build a haunted house and actually be in it. And it was like super fun.
Oh,
Bro, have y'all ever been to like haunted houses and you get that like culty vibe? Like it's like in the middle of like nowhere. It's at a farm. I'm just like, and the actors are like, they extra, and it's just like,
oh, they're
am I gonna get taken away in this thing and die? Like, I feel like
Yeah, you walk through, you just like, no, this is just somebody's house. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna get like sacrificed on like some like I don't know crucifix. I don't fucking know.
That's looking how I felt with the haunted core
Not a
maze.
crucifix. What's the thing? A pentagram? A pentagram.
that's
Yeah,
literally the
pentagram.
opposite of a crucifix.
Yeah, not a crucifix. My fault. Sorry. I take that back. A pentagram. With like a goat's head or something. I don't know. Some just coat stuff.
Yeah, that's
What's
it.
the prompt again?
We were just talking about Halloween in general. I will say, so I feel like this year, a lot of people are upping their game digitally. So I've seen a lot of, people post their costumes and stuff on social media all the time, but I've seen a lot of like videos that people have been making, whether it's about their costumes or their haunted houses or whatever, or just scary themed videos in general. And I think this year, like the bar is just so much higher, probably because people have nothing else to do.
Bro, I can't be on TikTok at night no more, bro. You know how many fucking scary dangerous? I'd be watching them and they'd be like perfectly fine. And it's just like, bah, jump out. I'm just like, fuck, dude. Because Vanessa Hudgens posted a video and I thought it was gonna be that bad. It was just like, I don't know. It was just like the thing you turn the light off. Oh, there's something there, and they turn it back on. Nothing. And they do it a couple times, and that thing fucking pops out and scares me. I was like, fuck, bro. Why is she doing me like this?
Dude, I don't know why. Whenever you mentioned Vanessa Hudgens, all I remember the last video I saw of her was like her doing the WAP challenge.
Together. Oh, what?
Dude, no,
What
I
you
saw
be
her like,
watching,
do the
Brian?
WAP. Dude, I saw her do like the WAP in like a TikTok or something. And then when you
Brian's
said
like,
Vanessa Hudgens, I was like, "Are you talking about the WAP video?" Or you're like, "What?"
no, bro. I didn't even know she made a WAP video.
No.
I don't know. I was just on that like
What's
Instagram Reels.
going on?
I don't know.
He's talking about Vanessa Hudgens' WAP video, but that's not what I was talking about. I was talking. She made like some like scary video, and it fucked me up.
Yo, have you guys ever seen the like dynamic drones? I feel like you can make some really cool like scary videos with those.
The dynamic drone.
It's like drones that like can move in like basically 360 like any direction and can like change directions really quickly.
Oh,
I think it's
know what
called
you're
like a red drone or something. There's like only a few people in the world that like fly those professionally, but like if you find some YouTube videos and you in the right mood, if you know what I'm saying, it's pretty good. I can't lie about it.
That's kind of dope. It's like a drone with sensitivity on like 12.
Yeah, because it's like you the person controlling it wears like a VR headset, so like they see what the drone sees. It's just like playing a video game, I guess, at that point.
Oh.
They'd be putting out on the Oculus.
It's a different world, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of
I got a whole freaking home theater in my little white box.
I don't know if it's because of the time of year though. I've been having some vivid ass dreams though, and some of them be weird.
I don't get
The other day though, I woke up right, and it was like, oh no, this is yesterday, and I swear to God, I thought it was my mom's calling my name, but I woke up to like my name being called, and that was like I had to get on my my advising meeting. I was like 15 minutes late, but thank God she was like cool with it because she had nobody else. But then like I get up, I was like, okay, my mom just like told me to get up, whatever. So I got on my computer and did this stuff, and I was like, it didn't sound like my mom's voice. So I felt like it was in my dream, and I woke up to it, and it still sounded like it was like I was waking up to my dream, and it was just like I don't know. It was like a mix of reality, and it fucking like weirded me out. Because I asked my mom, I was like, no, I only asked you. I only said like Corbin get up once, but I didn't even hear Corbin get up. I just heard Corbin, and I fucking got up, and got on the computer. Yeah, and I also had a vivid dream about like one day me with like I don't know why, but we was like going into his like roommate's room and stealing the money out of his like friend. His roommate had like a safe, and we took the money out of it. And then one day got caught, and then I just left the room, and then I
GTA 5 heist shit. Oh,
I had a similar dream, Corbin. It sounds pretty identical to yours.
for real. Was it 1A in it too? You stealing money?
Well, it was somebody else. But we were taking money from UT, like the whole ass school. We were robbing the whole school.
I mean, they
Embezzle?
robbing us.
And then
Embezzle?
I don't remember who it was with me, but like they got caught. But I got away.
Hey.
Real life GTA.
I think I had like a similar dream too. We weren't like stealing
Oh.
money.
What?
We got linked dreams. Hold on.
Yeah,
Bro,
it was so weird.
we're
like,
true brothers. No.
we were all like at an abandoned restaurant. It was like literally all of us.
Of course,
actually.
he had a restaurant.
It was an abandoned restaurant. It was weird. And then we were all just looking around. And then I think it was Jack. Jack came up to me and said, "Hey," he was like, "Hey, are we stealing this stuff?" And I said, "No. Why would we be stealing this stuff?" I look around. Everyone's starting to steal shit, and I said, "I guess we're stealing stuff."
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I bet you Jack was like, "All right, let's go."
That just sounds like a real life scenario that could potentially happen. Everybody's over there grabbing the cash, and then Jack and Brian, and Jack's like, "Hey, Brian, you sure you should be doing this?"
And Jack's just grabbing lamps just to steal stuff.
They are in Mercury retrograde.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
yeah,
Fucking
dude.
Mercury retrograde. I hate whenever Mercury goes into Gatorade. It fucks my life up. It messes my plans.
What? Something about Gatorade?
Yeah. Lewis just said that Mercury was in microwave, so everything's like off.
It's like when you press 2 and you not play.
You press do, and then you press like the A on the microwave like multiple times, and it's like a cheat code to like life.
Y'all fucking with me.
You
Yeah.
press the plus 30 and then just keep going.
Bro, you keep pressing
I'm
that
about to
plus
hear Justin
30.
in the microwave.
Bro, do y'all push the plus 30 like to get up to like 2 minutes? Like just push it 4 times instead of pushing
I
like
don't know. Why
2,
would you?
0, 0.
Why would you-
Why would you push? If you push the same amount of buttons if you were to press 400 start.
But I could go
Plus.
4, 0. No, I could go. I'm talking about 2 minutes. For 4 minutes, I'll do it. But I'm talking about like 2 minutes. You just do
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, there is microwaves where you just press a 2 and it starts.
Yeah, the express
If you
one.
just hit 2.
Well, my microwave doesn't have that.
Express isn't
Okay?
as
Those are the nice ones. Though, okay.
Hey man, don't get mad at us because your microwave don't have express settings, okay?
I always thought Express was just like it'll cook it faster, but not as hot. So I never.
Oh yeah, this is so much better.
I only use it if I got a quick.
There's not
heat
enough
process.
watts in the express.
He puts it express for 1 minute, and he's like, "Where's
I
my
think like
where's my
Express.
chicken that cooked?"
It's physically typing
First of
in
all,
100
why you
like
chicken
time
cook,
cook
dude?
100 start is like more powerful. It makes sense in my head. But they got more microwaves.
I'm concerned. Well, yeah.
Mute and stop video, bro.
Oh,
We
God.
lost Justin. Okay. I wish you would come. For those listening, Justin has left the building. Okay, he's back. So, I think that's a perfect segue point to go to our next segment, which is called the Swish. And the Swish is our main conversational topic of the episode. And I mean, we already kind of diverted from the first thing anyway, but Justin brought up something we were talking about Halloween about it reminds people of fear. And that was actually the topic that I was going to bring up for the Swish. So, my question, I guess, to you guys to kind of kick the conversation off is what is fear to y'all? Like, what makes you fearful? And then we can get into, I guess, like how it fits into our everyday timelines.
Talking about like what scares us, like what we fear, like a fear of.
Or like, what
Yeah,
is
or
fear?
just in general, like what is fear?
I would just say like having that anxious feeling that you're like, you know, that's you're about to do something or something's about to happen to you, and like you're afraid of it. But,
Yeah, like a negative connotation.
yeah, like it's like a negative energy that just like.
Yeah.
Balance it off.
Like when that body starts tingling,
Yeah.
your stomach turns, you're like,
We hit that fight or flight mode, bro.
Your adrenaline kicks in. You're like, who am I finna box right now?
I think fear is yeah.
Well, I mean, also there's like a fear too of just like failing, and that's not really adrenaline at all.
I think there's two
Yeah.
types of fear. I think there's fear that's like adrenaline survival fear, and then
Primal.
there's the like what's how do I describe the other type of fear? Hmm. It's
Find
more of
it.
like I guess it's like more mental or something. Like
I'd say mental, like,
I
because you
have
get like
it,
the
but
primal fears are just like your life threatening, like you're gonna die, which is like more primal, I guess. And then you have like mental fears of probably like, you failing like an exam, or like you like, have the fear of like getting rejected by like some girl or guy or whoever, or just like a fear of like interviews or just talking to people or just like, stuff like that. Like mental fears are like, it's like a wall. And you have like, your primal ones, which is like, shit, I'm gonna get eaten by a bear. Let me fucking get out of here.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Bro.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was about to get off track, but go ahead, Petey.
Okay.
Go ahead,
No,
man.
I was gonna say, so what kinds of things make you fearful, and how does that fear, I guess, help or hurt you? So for example, somebody thought of like grades, being afraid to fail. And it can go beyond, I mean, academic things too, but just maybe it's in life or in your career. Um, that is a rational fear. It's kind of like an anxiety or whatever, but it it hurts because it could hinder your progress. Like it could discourage you from even trying sometimes, but maybe it helps at the same time because it pushes you to work harder so that you don't fail and that those fears don't become a truth. So what kinds of things make you guys fearful, and does that help or hurt you, or both?
I'm scared of frogs.
Uh-huh.
What?
Bro,
I
he's told
love
us
frogs,
this.
bro.
He's told us he's scared of amphibians.
Yeah.
Frogs, toads mainly, amphibians like yeah in general I guess. And it's I feel like the topic of like irrational fear too
Hmm.
is like a thing worth talking about because it's like it's easy to explain rational fears, and like for me like a rational fear is be like I don't know if I have a rational fear to be honest. Maybe like you know my wife wanting to get a divorce with me. I guess that right now is my like biggest fear, even though I don't see it happening. But it's I feel like obviously, yeah, it makes sense that that would be like a big fear of mine. But like then it's like you're trying to explain why am I scared of frogs and amphibians? Like I feel like going into that is just like I couldn't even tell you why, but there's probably a reason for it because I don't feel like I've been scared of them my whole life, but I don't know when I started getting scared of them.
The turning point.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I feel like everyone has a certain thing that they don't feel comfortable with, or like since you don't feel comfortable with frogs, or like there's like a certain there's that certain uncomfortability that you just don't want to like be around them. And like I feel like everyone has certain like things like that. Like I hate
What's
like
y'all?
insects.
Do y'all have irrational fears? Like, does everybody have one? I have an irrational fear of dolls. But I blame Annabelle.
Dolls,
Yeah, that's because of Annabelle though.
because dolls are creepy.
Bro, no,
I don't
it's
blame you.
like porcelain dolls, like mold dolls, because they got kind of a weird face, a real face to them. And then, like they be
Yeah.
looking at you, they be sitting on top of the shelf, just like I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I think that's a pretty irrational fear. It's like spiders or snakes,
Yeah.
or like maybe like a common one.
Or
I
like
just never met
clowns.
somebody else who's scared of frogs. I want to meet someone. And
I used to be scared of clowns when I was younger, and then I realized it was just clowns.
Who's
Well,
gonna
irrational. I was afraid of the boogeyman once.
The what
Like
bear?
the WWE boogeyman.
The
Boogeyman.
WWE.
Oh.
The one that ate worms. Yeah, that one.
bodied?
Ugh.
My uncle would be like, "Yeah, he's about to come out of the closet tonight when you sleep." I'm like, "Bruh."
Oh, that's the image you had in your head though.
Yeah, I would have him.
Oh
like,
shit!
coming, eating worms, coming.
And he's just coming out like shaking his
I
head.
just gotta speak into it, I guess.
Get into
Bro,
it.
actually, my sister did
Hey,
that
man.
multiple times to scare me into doing stuff.
I don't know. I guess I once had an irrational, I guess, fear of falling off of heights that I was 100% protected from falling from. So like you'll literally be inside looking out of a window, not even standing against the window, just inside looking out, and your mind is like, damn, we might really be falling off this bitch. Like you like
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that for sure.
like
100%.
I'm just like, yo, the window can't even open. Like, why are you afraid? And your mind is just like, at any moment, we're just gonna be out. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
you can't. There's this bridge in China that like it's like an LED screen underneath your feet.
Oh no, uh-uh.
So they
Oh,
like purposely like make that shit crack to make it look like you're gonna fall. It's pretty messed up. It's really messed up if you don't see it coming.
bro, I
Oh.
see a lot of like. Oh, go ahead.
No, this is less serious, but do any of you guys are you guys ever afraid of like dropping your phone in a storm drain? Or like
No.
it's
I'm
gonna
just
fall
scared.
through the cracks?
I get scared of like stop dropping my phone down the crack of an elevator.
Ooh.
That's scary.
I just drop my phone in the toilet. That's about it.
But I mean, just like throwing it in the back of the rice, you'd be good as long as you get it fast enough. Unless you shitting in, then
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Mm,
you know, it's
yeah.
already contaminated. It's too late.
Yeah.
Just like-
sanitizer.
The pH
Just
level.
throw the whole phone away at that point.
just
Shoot.
flush it, bro. Just flush the phone down the toilet.
Yeah,
pH
all your
level.
contacts. It's all trash. I once got into a pool with my phone in my pocket.
Mm.
Yikes.
Oh my. And like I forgot that it was in my pocket. So I just like slid into the pool, and then I was like and like freaked out and threw my phone out. So ever since then, I'm always afraid that I have my phone in my pocket when I'm by a pool. Even
How
if I
long?
like take it out, leave it in my house, and like I don't even have it on me, I get in and I like panic and feel my pockets because I feel like it's there.
Bro, I had that happen to me. How long did you have were you in the pool when you realized your phone was in your pocket?
It was literally like maybe 5 seconds, and then I was like,
Bro,
Yeah.
I did that. I was in the pool for like 5 minutes, jumping off the diving board, and then I go back and sit down, and I feel in my pocket. And I'm just like, and it was super hot too. I was like, fuck. And I still tried to put in rice to salvage it, but that didn't work. And I was just like, and I have the same fear every time I jump in like water now. Like I have to like fill my pockets like even in the water to make sure I don't have a phone.
Bro, you know what's funny? This didn't happen to me, but it's essentially the same thing. But it was my little cousin Henry. We went to go swimming. He had his phone in his pocket, and his phone actually fell out of his pocket into like the depths of the pool. And it's been hours, like literally 4 or 5 hours. He looks inside the pool. He's like, "Hey, what is that thing in the pool?" We go down and grab it, and it's his phone. He's like, "Oh shit!" That thing was gone. It was like beyond repair, and I was like, "Dude, how do you just forget for 5 hours?"
not what is that?
What is that? That's your life
What's
sword.
in that pool?
I love the fact that he's the one that saw it too. Hey, what is that? Sir, that would be your phone. That's
Can someone
funny.
try calling my phone?
I lost
Oh,
it.
My phone.
but also, so I guess like getting to the second part of the whole thing, as far as those fears helping or hurting, I would say at least in those instances that we just talked about, in a way it helps because it makes you more aware for those next times to like keep yourself out of those situations. And maybe that is a function of fear in general, to kind of not only make you afraid of something in that moment, but teach you to avoid things or something after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Um yeah. So I think yep. Fear is an interesting thing. Now, in the context of Halloween, though, I feel like people exploit fear. Well, obviously they do. That's literally the point of Halloween, to scare people. But I feel like that can easily become a slippery slope.
What do you mean by that?
Like, it's one thing to have like your haunted houses or your scary movies or things that you kind of know are going to incite that kind of fear in people. But I think some people take that to an extreme, to the point where it becomes harmful or malicious. instead of like
Like going
cheeky
after
or
grannies.
You talking about like people like the social experiment kind of things, and it's just like out the wall or something.
yeah. I
don't
mean,
know.
it's like a thin line between Halloween night and the purge. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, there's definitely a way of taking it too far.
Do you
It's gonna
remember
be
like
insane.
it was like a long time ago, but I'm not sure. It was like I know it's happening in Kentucky, but it was like people posting up like flyers in like Louisville and like in Nashville. I think it was in Nashville, but I know it was in Louisville. Like, okay, guys, this day we're gonna have the purge. Get your weapons out. We're gonna go vandalizing and killing people. Yada yada yada. It never happened though, but like somebody like on like social media like made this flyer and like posted it. But I had no, it was like happening like a lot of places too. Like, did it happen when y'all are at? Y'all remember that? Like you and Justin, y'all ever see that?
I remember.
I saw
I
it.
don't remember anything like that, but
I just remember hearing about it because my friend had a. Oh, I heard it on the news. That's why. The news was talking about it in Louisville. Like somebody posted up like a flyer. They were gonna have a
Yeah.
purge.
Why don't we loop it back to the topic then? I
Yeah.
think like these people, they're like basically using fear as a weapon, you
mm,
know, and like trying to like stir people up. And you know, some people might be like, "Oh snap!" You know, you want to they basically want to cause anarchy, cause panic, because these are the type of people they are. They like to cause trouble when they do stuff like that, put up flyers for stuff like that. You know, because they want the attention, they want people noticing, and you know, some people are really scared, so they're using fear as a weapon. And I think you know, anytime you use fear as a weapon, it will turn against you. I feel like that's one of the instances where like fear like that shouldn't be how fear is produced by someone else. I think fear should be a more natural thing that comes from, you know, sources that, you know, aren't made because someone is directly influencing your fear, you know, like you're scared of someone.
Mm.
I think in that case, you know, you're using fear as a weapon and that's not good.
Yeah, I guess you're talking about like
you know, I was thinking.
go Brian.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I was thinking that actually, like, if just someone kids or like teenagers just posted that flyer up just as like a joke, like how like if like the wrong person or someone like genuinely believed it was true, you know how like how badly that could have turned out. You know,
Yeah.
like I guarantee it's more than just gonna be one person, or if one person does it, other people are gonna like join in, and it just becomes like this whole like thing when it's supposed to be like a joke and like that. You know, Justin we're saying it's like it's just taking it too far, and like there's some things that's it's just not a joke, and you shouldn't be messing around like that.
Yeah, because
yeah.
it's like y'all was saying, there's like bad fears. Like if you get to like the deep cases of like like leaders who use fear to like for their citizens and like parents and like just family members and stuff like that. They use fear just to kind of get their own way and manipulate, like and pretty much like sociopaths. Pretty much, it's like who use fear as like a tactic to like
Yeah, I mean,
get their way.
if we have a historical example, like it's called the Red Scare, you know,
Mm,
like
Oh yeah,
literally just using fear as a tactic. So in those cases, like we see like what happens when people start panicking, you know, like people start stocking up, stock prices go down, like all because of this kind of narrative that your neighbor could be a communist and everybody was scared. And that was
mhm.
probably like the time like when America was most scared, like was most fearful of someone. I don't even think back in like the colonial days they were as scared of the British as they were of just communism in general. And a lot of people didn't even know what communism really was. They just heard the word communism and instantly were like scared of it.
propaganda, man. The propaganda was so heavy. Bro, I learned about this in sci classes. Like they show us so much propaganda from like that, like the Cold War period, like the Red Scare.
I'm
Dude,
sure
and some of the
Russia.
propaganda, I'm just like, that shit don't make sense nowadays.
In
But I
in
guess like
every Yeah, in every era of history, and I think that's a really great point. Fear has been used as a means of control. I mean, whether it be mental, mental attacks like propaganda and messaging and things like that, or physical fear, like the fear of getting beaten. You think even all ever since like slavery, I mean, it was a means of control, and not only were people being kept enslaved because of the harsh physical punishment and that kind of fear of being beaten and things like that. But also you have a discouragement of people who were against slavery from helping because they were being fed by the media that Black people were like literal demons or could not be trusted or like rape families and things like that. You get into the Red Scare, like you were talking about, and there's this huge fear of communism, irrational because of how the world worked back then. I mean, even now, but they promote that image to keep people in control. Because they can control that narrative. And then you think of like the World War, how they had propaganda against the Japanese, and even to like the 80s and 90s, whenever you had like the war on drugs, there's this huge fear instilled in people about like these neighborhoods that have these drugs and like diseases and stuff that are supposedly running rampant, um, to where like people don't even think of educating themselves on certain topics because there's such a huge taboo placed on those things. And it's fear as a means of control. And now that we're in this COVID-19 situation, there was a whole lot of, I think, fear mongering whenever it came to how drastic or severe this coronavirus was or wasn't, to where you are disrupting life and discouraging people from trying to, you know, get back to a normal routine or be safe in general because of all of this stuff just flying around and making people afraid of going outside, talking to people, doing things. You know, I think that it's dangerous in that sense by itself, but especially whenever there are legitimate fears that people should be concerned, or concerns that people should have. Like, if since we're talking about, since I brought up the coronavirus, like obviously the thing is serious. Like COVID-19 ain't no damn joke. There is a legitimate amount of fear or concern or caution that I think everybody should be taking. But whenever you have that combined with the excess stuff that a lot of the media is trying to throw in, and less educated people are just piling on top of it, now you have a lot of irrational mixed with rational concern, and that just blows the whole thing out of proportion. So nobody knows what to believe, or nobody knows what's going on, and that, I think, does more harm for the whole than good, you know. So I don't know, like,
I
do you
think,
guys see that kind of manipulation too?
yeah, I think another thing to add on to like just COVID too. Like we haven't gotten to the topic yet in one of my classes, but I have a racial and ethnicity class, and we're going to be talking about COVID. But I read some of it already, but it talks about how like so we're talking about like fear, right? So like you know, like Trump has tied like the COVID-19 to like China, and called it like China
China
flu or Kong
plague,
flu,
yeah.
China plague, like all that. And then you have like his supporters who like then get this like fear of like Asian people, and then you see like in the news of like Asian people getting beat because like, they caused COVID-19. You know, we know why like it's like this, but
Right.
yeah. And also like um another fear, like pretty recent too, when like during like the 2016 campaigns, when you're talking about like instilling fear into like Trump supporters again, saying like, "Oh, Mexican people are all rapists, killers, yada yada yada. Let's get the border." And this passion of fear to like put down people, and it's like a negative way to. It's like it. It's just like it negatively affects people in like the wrong way, and then it's like reinforcing like some people's already like ideas. Prominent figure who's like running for like a really like high office that was saying these same things that these people are thinking of. And that's another thing, like fear of like other people's like races, and like that tied to like now like tied to like a disease too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Fear promoting xenophobia, racism, all types of other phobias. Phobia literally means fear. So yeah, all of those things.
Yeah.
Um, and then it plays off of ignorance too. Like, if people don't know something, they're more likely to be afraid of it. It's literal fear of the unknown. People prey off of ignorance all the time. And that shit is pretty disgusting.
Hmm.
So yeah, I guess the bottom line is fear is a natural thing that can be wielded for evil as everything in this ghetto ass world. So it is our jobs, as bright young people, to educate ourselves and educate other people, and yeah, just not be assholes. Well, I guess that does it for the Swish. This was a great conversation. We're going to be back after a word from our sponsors.
You got sponsored?
There are no sponsors. So the next thing we have,
I was about to
Let's
be
say, dang, you
I
sponsors in 2
I got
episodes,
super
bro.
confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sponsored by La Jane Doe, my album.
get out.
I'm gonna buy it now.
Stop.
Sponsored by
So
Jimmy Jones.
we're going to get into the next segment, which is called the Gargle, and the Gargle is advice/Q&A. If you have anything that you want to send in, or any advice that you would like to receive, or any problems that you may be having, send them all to brownmouthwash@gmail.com. That is BROWNMOUFWASH@gmail.com, or DM us on social media at brownmouthwashpod. But since nobody has done that, here's a question that I have for you guys. So we're on the same wavelength of Halloween and costumes and all these things. So I guess my question for you guys to weigh in on advice-wise would be costumes. What are good, bad, and gray area costume choices that people can make or should have made this year?
I mean, we're going to like get like an easy answer of like a bad one, like when people like dress up in like sombreros and wear a poncho and like do the mustache thing,
Oh, yes,
and
I
or
love
like
that.
they do the headdress, like Native American headdress, like cultural appropriation. That's like a no go.
Yeah, or blackface too.
Oh yeah, no.
Boop.
Boop. Yeah.
Like, honestly, with like this day and age, and you do like something like that, you're asking for it.
Hmm.
Like, what are you thinking? You know, it's like, what are you expecting? It's like shooting yourself in the foot and expecting it not to hurt. So like, I don't understand why people still do it. Like because I feel like they really do think they're cool, and like maybe these people need to go to a psychiatrist, because like doing that does not equal cool. And I'm sure like for a lot of guys, you ask girls, most of the time they're gonna say that's not cool, man. So like I really don't know what's going on inside these people's minds. That's like, this is a good idea. Instead of
Yeah.
maybe just, going as your favorite, TV show character or something else. And like honestly, in my opinion, if you base your costume like accurately on something, if like someone really likes Samurai Jack and show up in like a Samurai Jack outfit, but they're white or they're black, like if they get it right and they like say they really love the show, like it's no problem, like I don't think it's a need to go that far and be like, oh, that's cultural appropriation, because you're just being an asshole, you're ruining people's time. But there's obviously a line, and that line is a little bit of a gray area. But there's some things that are pretty obvious, and some things that are pretty much okay, as long as you explain it well and people get it.
I think
I'll
that
just,
line though is defined by like if it's a joke or not. I feel like a lot of these people that are like whenever they wear like a poncho or like when it comes to like a costume, when it comes to a race, it's mostly like they think it's a joke. They're doing it for like a joke purposes, or like whenever you see like people that like see you, they laugh. They're doing it for a good laugh, and they're just, like that's when it comes like that's cultural appropriation. Like that's not cool. But like whenever they give a Samurai Jack the example, like they genuinely liked it. They're not trying to like push on other people's borders. Like they actually, do their research. They do whatever, like they do their research essentially, and they genuinely love it. Like there's a difference between you knowing that and like it being a joke. And that's when
Yeah.
I think that line is.
another thing too, I'm just like when I see it in college, I'm just like, man, you in college, like you definitely know, like it's talked about on campus, like
You go get a picture snapped.
Yeah.
yeah, or you get like
Exactly.
I'm saying, I don't understand.
someone get picture snapped,
Yeah.
and then like what's happened in the past, like you're gonna get kicked off campus, or if you do something like that, like I'm just like, bro, you're in college, like you should know, like you hear about it, like
If we think about it, right, the reason they do it is mainly for attention.
Yeah.
But the problem is
Yeah.
they're gonna get the attention and they're gonna receive some pretty bad consequences. So either they don't know what the consequences are gonna be, or they don't care. Which like either way is ignorant and like pretty bad. You know.
I think they don't think about the consequences. They think about the joke, but they don't think about the actual consequences and like the, I guess, the effect that the costume actually has
Yeah, that
on whoever like
intent
created it.
versus impact.
Yeah, they're too invested into the joke.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. They think it's a joke, and whenever somebody else says something about it, they're like, "Oh, dude, I'm just trying to have a good time. Like, why are you trampling on it?" And it makes you the bad guy. When, like, in general, like, bro, you just shouldn't be doing that.
No one's laughing, man. You got no one in the party laughing, man, and you about to get suspended from campus. Congratulations. You know,
Right.
that's how I feel about it, honestly.
Mhm.
'Cause I pretty much I feel like that's how it goes. It's like I actually knew somebody who knew like the blackface incident back in like 2018,
Yeah,
19.
one of those kids were in my class.
Yeah, and like I saw like the picture and she showed me and she was like talking to like her friend about it, and I was just like, bro, why? Like me and her, we were just sitting there asking each other. I was just saying why, and she's like, I don't know why he did it. It's like I think it's stupid too. We're just like, oh, it just hurt. It just hurt even thinking that someone would like go out of their way to do that
Yeah.
for no gain.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's just so easy to not be problematic with stuff like this. Because you think, like, especially, so characters are one thing, and then you think of people dressing up as other people, like figures. So, like, Lewis is dressed up as Kevin Harvick, which is a race car driver who is about as white as a spring day is long, and yet you don't see him with. Well, I mean, if you listen, then you can't see him at all, but he ain't coming here with like baby powder all over his face and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think some people, they know whenever their costume is good enough to where people will get it,
that's what I'm saying.
you know? So to go that extra step of like, no, I gotta be the same complexion. No, you don't. You don't.
If
Or the
any,
same clothes.
if anything, just get a mask, you know, and then just take like a whole face, like the whole like wax mask. Because
What
like,
if like
uh,
you talk about the mask, right? So I know they have like the Obama mask. So like if a white person wears that, that's fine because they're not blackfacing, is it? Like how would you see that?
just a mask. Because like, basically, I'm saying this because in like middle school, I did a project where it was a wax museum project, and I did Ronald Reagan. This Asian Chinese kid is doing Ronald Reagan. We got to dress up as the figure. So instead of just slicking my hair back and putting a suit on, because I'm not gonna look anything like him, no matter what I do, because I'm Asian, I just got like the whole like you put it over your head, like the plastic mask, and I just wore that. And I don't know, like I feel like back then probably a different time, and I don't really know like if anybody would have a problem with that nowadays. But for me, like honestly felt like since I was put in that situation, like I wanted to be as accurate as I could. And like I was obviously a kid, I thought it'd be pretty funny. And, that's just kind of the path I took. But like I don't really know like if you took that situation and put it in 2020, if people would feel the same way about it.
Yeah,
But
I don't think I think it'd be fine because like Ronald Reagan's the right dude and like it's not like a history of like making fun of like dressing up at like a show like blackface. Like that was like I forgot what the shows are called. But that was like a show, like it happened, like the whole history behind blackface is like terrible. There's no such. I don't think there's a history behind whiteface, and like white people are like the oppressors in America. So like, I don't really think it's an issue if you like did that. But I'm just like, it's like different when it's like the other way around though. So I don't think it's the same when it's like you're impersonating a white person. But that's just me.
I think Brian made the point of like the line being the joke, because like if you think about someone like dressing up as me like Donald Trump, right? When they speak as Donald Trump trying to impersonate him, there's a very clear like tonnage between like if they're like trying to do like a mock Trump impression or if they're really trying to like do a Trump impression. There's a very clear difference, and I feel like that goes that goes for like a lot of different costumes.
Yeah.
And a lot of different
Huge difference.
Huge difference. The biggest difference anyone has
pretty good.
ever seen.
That's pretty
Okay?
good.
Yeah.
You can ask everybody. They all agree. It's the best.
He's got the inflection. That's honestly the most important thing. Is that
Yeah.
inflection.
It's probably terrible. People probably listening like, what the fuck was that? But yeah, I think that was good stuff. It's hard because I mean I've seen, and then it also pushes your creativity too, right? Because
Yeah.
I've seen people be very accurate or give very accurate depictions of even other people like celebrities and stuff without ever touching
Hmm.
like or changing the appearance of their skin or like doing anything harmful and malicious. Like I watched the talk show The Real, and it has like Adrienne Bailon from the Cheetah Girls and Jeannie Mai and all of them on that show. And they had a Halloween episode a few years ago. I mean, they do it every year, but whatever. So a few years ago, and Jeannie Mai, who is Vietnamese, dressed up as Lil Kim, like from the 90s. And she ain't wear no extra bronzer or nothing like that to look darker, but she had the wig and the outfit and like the same makeup and everything like that. So you could tell like, oh, homegirl trying to be Lil Kim without this Asian woman trying to blackface, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And then it's also super creative because if you know that you want to be someone that you obviously don't look like, you have to try a little harder to make sure that everything else is really accurate so people can draw that same connection. So I mean, it's just not even creative at that point if you resort into lowbrow stuff like blackface and all that.
I feel like people should, they're gonna do a costume. They have to have the same drive and confidence as a cosplayer. You know?
Yes, cosplay.
Yeah. Because cosplay, you see some of them cosplays. Oh my god, they look exactly like the character sometimes.
Yeah,
Because I
I
mean,
think
Halloween costumes are technically cosplay, right?
Yeah, but I guess it's technically cosplay. I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know the whole definition of cosplay. I'm just saying, like, you do it, like, get pretty close.
I think my Ronald Reagan example wasn't perfect because in that situation, like you said, Matthew, like there's a way to capture like a character without having to change like every aspect to match that character.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times with these characters, like they have really distinct outfits or they have very distinct features about them that aren't tied to their race or some other aspect of them.
Right.
So I feel like my example is pretty bad because like Ronald Reagan, I don't think there's any like defining feature about it. Maybe his hair, but like
Yeah.
this hair does not do what Ronald Reagan's hair does.
Right. But
So
you
Right.
still got like a full
I
ass
mean, he's a
mask.
president.
I feel like in that situation, like it's probably okay because like as a middle school kid doing a wax museum project,
Yeah, it's middle school.
too hard. Right. But what would your opinion be then, like if someone wore like try to basically wear like the whole like go 1-to-1 like wax like figure like replication of like somebody but like they don't put any makeup on their face but they just like wear a mask kind of like an outer shell.
I don't know. For
Like
me
the
personally,
the
that's like
Obama mask, like
I feel like that's where kind of the gray line could be, right?
yeah.
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 I feel like it depends on the intent then, and you'd have to kind of interact with the person to
And I also think it varies person by person how they're gonna take it too.
yeah. Because I don't think like everybody that would do that would be like purposely trying to target, a race or like
Right.
Yeah.
culturally appropriate. So I feel like it really does depend on like person to person, like Corbin said.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something about it, Lewis?
Oh no, I was just agreeing. Like that gray line of the mask.
Yeah. What's something else that we consider gray line? Just like the mask is something too that comes to mind.
Oh, I think a gray line for me, dressing up as a fictional character that has obvious cultural influence. Case in
Ooh.
point, like Mortal Kombat characters.
Mm.
I remember this wasn't necessarily for Halloween. I was looking on Instagram and NPHC fraternity had their probate and the Neos were dressed as Raiden from Mortal Kombat or Liu Kang. I don't follow. Point is they had on the outfit with the karate themed outfit. And so there was a kind of a controversy in the comments because some people were saying, oh, this is cultural appropriation because they're dressed up after like martial artists and everything without the actual cultural accuracy. And then some people were like, except they're dressed up as this Mortal Kombat character. So like it's no big deal. So I mean, but the character itself, even though it is fictional, is obviously based off of actual, cultural
like Moana and like Pocahontas.
right.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a gray area of like
Yeah, to me personally, I feel like that's taking it a little too far. And I feel like it's a bit of ignorance on the people's part who like didn't understand what it's from. Because I don't think it's realistic to expect everybody to understand every aspect of every piece of media they take in. Especially like as Americans, we take in so many different kinds of media from so many different kind of international sources that it's like, how can you realistically expect someone to be like, oh, I'm gonna do all my research on Indian culture just because I watched Aladdin, or I'm gonna do all my research on some other culture just because I watched this. It's like I feel like that's going a little too far, and I feel like when it comes to fictional characters, it's perfectly okay because obviously these fictional characters need some form of inspiration to draw from, like sure sometimes some games might have characters that are born from more of like just pure fantasy, but you're gonna have characters based on cultural things, and it's kind of unavoidable for people to like those things and try to replicate it in real life without understanding every last detail about the character and where their origins are from. I think it's
And I think that great line. Oh, sorry. And I think that great line. I think when it's like teetering, it's between like cultural appropriation and like cultural appreciation. So like, I guess like with those characters, you like, is it like I don't know. Some people might take it as like appreciation, or might take it as like appropriation. And I guess it's also like the great line, and like, it varies. It's pretty much what we've been saying too.
And that's just human nature. We're gonna disagree
Yeah.
when it comes to like stuff like that. Everybody has like a
Yeah.
different.
yeah.
Oh, Corbin.
No, I agree. I think some things are just gonna be like, I mean, whenever you have a lack of knowledge anywhere, it's just gonna fall through the cracks. And everybody has a lot of lack of knowledge these days. America, we're all stupid. So
Yeah, bro. But it's the power.
I mean, we can only do so much,
United powers.
It's like the power of freedom of speech, so you can say what you want, but you don't have to have the knowledge to know what you're saying.
It's funny. The more access we have to things, the less we take it. That being said, we're gonna close this out before I start getting in trouble. We're gonna move on to the next segment, and it's called the spit. So the spit is whenever we bring a random or like hits blunt, like shower thoughts, things that just pop into your mind. So is there anything that just like struck you recently?
Yeah. So today, I was at this. This morning I had my MMA class. I started doing MMA, and I found out. So like they were practicing like body shots though, but we weren't going hard though. I mean, some of the motherfuckers they hit hard. They were like going 50%, but the 50% still kind of hurt. All right, but yeah, like after we got done with like I was doing like the practicing body shots and stuff, and then we started doing like ground work and stuff. Guy started pushing on my stomach, and I was like, oh fuck. Like my stomach was already like feeling like a little rubbly after getting like punched a couple times because I think it was loosening it up in there. And then the guy started like pushing down on me. I was like, hey man, I gotta go to the bathroom. So the last 20 minutes of classes, I was in the bathroom, bro. I tore it up. And then I was thinking, I was like, is getting hit in the stomach like this? Is that a thing? Like, does it make you shit? So I was so curious. I asked the teacher, right? And the guy was like, oh yeah, like that happens to everybody, especially the first time because you're not used to it. So you fucking just like want to go shit. And, like, your stomach, you get hit in the stomach, and then like he said, I think it loosens it up, and you just fucking let that shit loose. And I was just like, huh. And I looked it up too, and there's like people who talk about it on like Reddit and like forums and stuff.
Oh,
This podcast has been tainted.
Bro, actually, Corbin, something about that. I remember like literally a month back, I saw like one of those Instagram reels. It's like if you punch yourself in
In the armpit.
the armpit, you'll
Yeah.
shit yourself, or like you have to like really shit like really fast. Tell me why me and my girlfriend did it. It did not work, but
Yeah,
We're
because
gonna
that's one
try
of the
it
things
out.
that like popped up when I was like looking like if like getting hit like doing like body shots and like MMA, like does that make you shit? That's one of the things that popped up. But I
really,
didn't find up like some like forums or some people like, yeah, bro, it happens to me too. I thought I was the only one.
I'm getting rid of this segment after this episode.
And he's gonna
Yeah,
cut it right here. Beep beep.
Yeah, I got one. Who closes the bus door after the bus driver gets off?
wait, what?
Oh,
Right, stay on.
Wait.
so true.
Bro, you just grab the door and you sink him, bro.
Well, can't you
But
open
I
it?
was like,
He's gotta like drag it over himself.
Can't you just close it by hand?
I don't know, maybe. It was like one of those never mind. Let me think of another one.
Yo, y'all want to hear a funny story about when I was a kid? And I was
No.
actually, about a bus as well.
Who said no?
I feel like Corbin said no.
No, it was
What
just
is it? What is it?
Oh, so it was in my old neighborhood. I accidentally fell asleep on the bus, and no one woke me up. And tell me why. Okay, so I know some of these people don't live in Clarksville, but I lived in like by Wilma.
uh-huh.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about? And then like there's like a little back area by the DMV. It's okay. It's mostly for Corbin and Justin, I
brother,
guess.
been there a few times.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was like behind the DMV, and I fell asleep, and no one woke me up.
Oh,
And I woke up with the bus driver still driving, but we were all the way in like Fort Campbell, which for you guys, it's like literally a half hour, like 15, actually like 20, 30
like
minutes
driving to the
out.
mall from the campus.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like 20, 30 minutes away from my actual house.
Nice.
And I
Wait, the
woke
bus
up.
driver didn't even know you on the bus?
No, I was like 6 years old too. So you know how, like, I don't remember whatever happened after that. I really don't remember what happened after that, but I woke up. I was like, where the fuck am I?
That's a Twilight Zone moment.
It was. I don't remember what happened after though.
I've got a bus story. So in 5th grade, Ankush and I went on a school trip to Chattanooga, and the both of us and our other friend, we sat in like the very back, where it's like the 3-seater, and I sat like basically at the very end of the aisle. And I think on the way back home, I threw up like down the aisle, just sitting back. I just launched.
Bro, what'd you eat?
I don't know, but it was like the most embarrassing thing I've ever done at that time.
Was it a projectile or was it just like
I would just
wow.
projectile
Bro,
vomit.
it's a projectile.
Oh, dude.
He like just
All the way to the front of the bus. What if like the bus
All
driver
these
slammed on the brakes
stories.
as he did it and it just like launched all the way to the front?
What are these stories
Oh.
about secretions and excrements? Like,
Yeah, I got another normal one.
okay.
Oh snap, dude, I forgot it.
Find
Man.
it. Find it.
Oh no. It's that hits blunt, you know what I mean? It just goes
When
out.
Justin hits blunt, he forgets.
Goes out the window. I swear it was a good one too. Oh yeah. Okay, super high thought. All right, I was watching this YouTube video the other day. Tearzoo, by the way, youtube.com/Tearzoo. Pretty good channel. You should check him out. But basically, he was saying like, what, like basically, so like humans are the apex of intelligence on Earth, basically. So we were able to kind of build society and like do all this, build technology and all this stuff. But basically, the theory he was presenting was if humans didn't exist, what would be the next animal that could potentially fill the role of a human in terms of like building society, maybe potentially creating technology, things like that.
Bro,
I'm
Planet of the Apes.
thinking.
Apes.
Yeah,
They have
exactly. I'm thinking
a-
either dolphin or pigs.
Okay, so Brian's on the right track here. So the guy, he's kind of like an expert on this stuff, and he was saying his most likely candidate is actually elephants. So elephants are first, dolphins are second, and then chimps and like our closest ancestors are third. And he says,
I'll go ahead.
yeah, he says they're elephants because they're land-based animals, so it'd be easier for them to develop technology, things like that. They have access to like grabbing, very high intelligence, strong emotional like ties, and mainly the one advantage they have over the dolphins is they're going to be able to control fire, which is going to be like the most important thing to like building the society. And I think basically he didn't pick apes because I forgot the main reason he didn't pick apes over the dolphins and elephants, but I think probably because like if you put up elephants versus apes, the elephants are probably going to win. So especially if they grow to the point where they become like intelligent, like human level intelligent, where they could like develop like speech even, which is like pretty crazy to think about, like an elephant society where like imagine like an elephant society.
I'd be scared, bro.
They got
That'd be
like
pretty cool.
Bro, I get an up-armored elephant, like got a spear with a nose, and just like stabbing people.
I was talking like modern elephants.
Oh yeah.
Like elephants trading elephant stocks. That's what I'm talking about.
I was thinking like some like tribal like warlord like elephant
don't go
like
through that
society.
Stage.
I was thinking of like an animated movie. Like I was thinking like, oh, bro, this would be such a cool animated movie.
I
Like
saw a video of an elephant painting an elephant, and I thought that was the most beautiful thing.
was it
Wow.
pretty? Like,
Yes, I think I've seen that. That was so cool.
Yeah, so creative.
Inspiring for some reason.
That elephant was probably a Pisces.
Aren't you,
So I have a random thought. What do blind people's dreams look like?
A blind person like said it.
like,
They said that it's nothing. It's just nothing.
you probably
he
just
says,
hear stuff.
Oh, it's
like,
nothing.
Is it just sounds? Or just like nothing?
No, he says it's just nothing. That's what
Like,
that's
not
what
even
the
sound?
said. No, he said not even sound, just nothing.
Is it just one account though, or is this like from a blind person, or like from
Yeah,
multiple?
yeah. It's an account from a blind person. It's like kind of like an informal interview, and he was like asked by his friends like, yo, like, because they're curious, because I'm sure like most people have had this thought once or twice in their life. And they asked him like, hey, I feel like most people avoid asking that question because they feel like it might be a bit rude.
Yeah.
But they were basically like, hey, like, what do you like? Do you dream? And he was like, I guess so, but like, I don't see anything. Like, there's nothing. Like, nothing. I don't know. He didn't elaborate on whether or not there's sounds, but he just said basically there's nothing, and there's
Like,
all.
Yeah.
They also
like-
asked him,
Oh, go
what's
ahead.
the first thought that comes into your head every morning? And personally, for him, he said, "Fuck."
He just like he wakes up and he's just like, oh fuck.
So he's like, the first time I had it. Fuck.
Wait, was he like? Has he been blind his whole life, or was he like he became blind?
I think he's blind his whole life, but he just says every morning. He just
Yeah, they have like no visual imagination to go off of to dream.
yeah.
I feel like if you become blind, then you might have dreams.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he
Yeah.
probably just dream about like your past or like this thing.
Do you think
Or-
becoming blind is worse or
Color
being
and stuff.
blind?
Dude, I'd rather be blind from
Yes.
the start than becoming blind, because then you lose the sight and like the joy of seeing stuff.
Mm.
I'd rather be blind, but I don't know.
But
I
yeah,
want to be blind because I like looking at shit. Like I'm a very visual person. I like the aesthetic of like stuff. And
yeah.
like if I just lose my sight, I'm gonna just become like
Do you think you're like being born blind though? Like, I wonder if blind people like they just kind of like accept the fact that like they're blind, or if like, I'm sure it's like not every blind person, but like how many of them just like really like wish they could see. I'm sure like they all wish they could see, but like to the point where it's like they're obsessed with it,
Yeah.
even though
I would
like
get jealous.
yeah.
You get these people like oh, describe it to me. I'm like, fuck, I wish I could just see it.
Mhm.
I wonder like what technology, or if there even is technology, or like if technology can advance to the point where you can cure blindness for people that were born that way.
I definitely think
You
so.
could. I feel like I mean it'd be a long time ago, but I feel like it would eventually happen.
Like, are eye this is probably gonna sound stupid. Are eye transplants a thing yet? Like, has there ever been a successful one?
No, because I think
Like,
there are too
I don't
many.
think so.
You can't
Too many
connect the
nerves
nerve
have
endings, I
connects.
think. It's hard. That's the one thing that's a lot of stuff. It's like connecting the nerve endings. Yeah, it's really hard.
And I think eyes are pretty unique per person.
Yeah, that's
Your eyes like basically are fit to your like skull,
sockets.
and it's hard for like to just replace an eye. I think.
Oh, true. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I feel like it'd be like replacing like another very vital body part. You know, you need to find like the
Like
exact
a tongue.
and yeah, like even that, like I feel like it's such a low chance that there's probably never been any successful like
Dang.
transplants.
Congratulations, Tom. I can't talk no more. I can't even do this podcast.
I like how we had two different thoughts for that, Corbin. I said, dang, I can't talk or anything. And then in my head, I was like, dang, I can't really taste anything.
Why?
Like if Brian's a chef and I just talk too
I'm
damn
just thinking,
much.
oh, like, dang, you don't really eat or taste anything? That sucks.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but y'all know I like to fucking talk. So.
Oh,
Justin. Oh, I hate all of you. So the last segment we have for the evening is called The Burn. We all know that a good swig of brown mouthwash burns a little bit. So this is a segment where we get to talk about really just kind of burns us up. Now you actually have mouthwash, Corbin. I'm dead. So
I told you I got it.
yeah. So my burn this week is, if you guys have been following the news or social media, in Philadelphia, there has been another shooting of an unarmed black man. And it really burns me up because like it feels like it's just over and over and over again. So his name was Walter Wallace. And it's important that we say his name because each person is unique. Like it's a whole story with each person. So Walter Wallace was gunned down in Philadelphia. There are videos, I think, of it, or at least the one that I saw wasn't really clear, like the actual shooting. But that's beside the point. Be careful if you are scrolling social media because it is going around a lot and people don't put warnings on their posts when they repost it. However, it burns me up because I feel like at this point it's becoming routine, and I hate to say it in such a harsh way, but that legitimately is what it feels like sometimes, because you get the incident and then you have following protests and riots, and looting may or may not happen, and then you get this unrest and people will probably start calling for these cops to be brought to justice, and statistically that does not happen sufficiently. We saw it since like always, whether it was Philando Castile or how Sandra Bland died in jail, how George Floyd happened, how Ahmaud Arbery was hunted down, albeit Ahmaud was by cops, but whatever. Breonna Taylor was shot by cops, and it's the same thing over and over again. So I'm just sitting here wondering, like, what has to happen for people to wake up? And I'm not just talking about the people who are responsible for bringing these cops or whatever to justice, but also the people who are like standing by and idly watching these things happen over and over and over again. Like, what is it going to take for those people to join the efforts and to actually speak up and do something? Because clearly, like, the efforts of the few that are working right now are not enough. You know what I'm saying? And I would hate for it to come to the point where everybody's families are getting affected, to where everybody has a personal vendetta or a personal stake in the fight to feel like they have to get active, So because I don't know. I feel like whenever all this stuff was blowing up over the summer after George Floyd, on my Instagram, I was always reposting things, sharing things, answering questions for people about the experience that I've had as a Black person and why this should matter to them too, even though that's not what my job is to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand everybody's not a social justice advocate or like warrior or whatever. You don't have to be, but I feel like everybody should at least give a damn, because at the end of the day, Black person, Asian person, white person, whatever, somebody was unjustly killed by the cops. And I think that's the root of the issue that people seem to be like missing. It's disproportionately against Black and brown people, but this could be anybody's family. And you would be mad if anybody in your family was killed for no reason. So like, what is it going to take for people to stop sitting on their asses and actually do something about these things? Or are we just going to have to wait until everybody's dead?
Yeah, like you kind of like talked about like people. We kind of like talked about this in one of my classes too. Like people are caring about like certain issues because it doesn't directly affect them or like a close family member or a friend, and so therefore they're less inclined to like give a damn, um, and so I guess like it's just have to like I don't know. It's either like it's gonna like have to take like I don't know. Like you said, we have to if it really came down to it. I mean, like it's not gonna happen, but like I guess if everybody's family is affected by like police brutality, but that's not gonna happen. That's not realistic to think about. So I think something like realistic is like us like getting out there in the vote and like hopefully like I don't know like electing somebody who gives a damn who's actually going to fix something, because not everybody in the U.S. is going to like care. Like we all know that like with like a capitalist country, it kind of like it's your dream, you get it how you want. But like if you want to affect like social issues like this, it's like trying to like pick the best person, I guess, to like actually like do something about it. Because you can do something too as like a citizen, but you don't have the pull like politics like a regular actually like office like somebody who holds an office in politics because like they're elected, that's their job and that's what they're supposed to do. So like like getting out there and vote, I feel like it's like the best way to do. But sometimes like you don't have the best candidates, so you kind of like that's like the repeating cycle of just America, just like oh well we have candidates, but like they're both like so let's just choose the lesser evil, so but it's just really hard. I couldn't like give you like I don't even think there's like a really definite answer for that, but I think like just I don't know, just keep hoping. And then I know it sucks, you gotta hope because like it's been going on like fucking forever, and like people have lost hope now because like it's just slow change. But like I think just like it's just slow and steady, and like just can't give up. And that yes, persistence is key. I feel like you just can't give up, even though like it fucking sucks and it's gonna take forever. You might not even see in your lifetime, but hopefully like you're like I don't know, your grandkids and your great grandkids are better to see something than what you've seen.
Yeah. I think there's a kind of like a fundamental problem with the way our society handles like news and big
Yeah.
events and social movements, because the way we kind of I'd say the way I'd compare how we treat these movements is kind of like how we treat memes. Like they come in,
Yeah.
for a few weeks, everybody's super excited about it. Everybody's really hyped up about it. But the problem is there's always something new coming in. If it's not, save the whales, it's, fight for this or fight for that, or, it's Down Syndrome Awareness Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. There's a lot of things coming in at us, and I feel like for a lot of people, it's much easier to offer minimal support to like all these different causes, because to really be an activist, you have to dedicate yourself to that one cause. You look at like real activists in history, Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., like they dedicated their lives to that one cause, that one singular focus, and that's why they're able to be, really make a change and be successful. But the reason we can't make any change now is because there's too many people that are just kind of like giving 1/20th of their life to this, or 1/100th of their life to that one cause, and then doing another 1/100th of their life to another cause, donating $1 to plant a tree, and then, making a social media post. Like you're not making any real change. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're just making yourself feel like you're making a real change. But at the end of the day, like these problems don't really go away unless, there's a singular focus and people really come together as one like whole unit. And I feel like that's also a problem in America right now, is that there's so many misconstrued media messages and so many ignorant people and people that just don't get educated. And, there's different groups that form, people who are fighting for the same message but go about it different ways. So there's a lot of confusing, conflicting, paths to try to get to the same end goal, when I feel like there needs to be a singular unified movement, instead of just kind of what we got now. Is, to me, it looks like a mad scramble for attention, where, we're screaming for help, but it's like 10,000 tiny little groups instead screaming for different things, when it should be one entire group asking for the same thing. And that's, like, I feel like when you really get that change and you really get those people in power to listen, because otherwise they're not going to care. And
Yeah.
that's why we haven't seen any change, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, like just going off of that, like I didn't even know about the shooting that you talked about, because like my social media like recently has been like flooded with like the SARS in like Nigeria.
Yep.
So I've seen that more often lately. Instead, like I don't really see as much like police brutality posts, like especially on Instagram. Like you start seeing on Twitter, because like Twitter is just a different beast than like Instagram. Like Instagram's like pretty much, I think, like a main, like one of like the main ones that everybody uses every day. And, like I don't know, it's just like Justin said, like 1 week it's this, 1 week it's that, and like no one's on like the same page, like for one long consistent time trying to like fix an issue on one issue.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anybody else have a burn for the week?
I think one thing that's bothering me is the appointment of Amy Coney Barrett as
Oh my gosh.
the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court, yeah.
Oh
Especially-
yeah, go more into depth of that about that person, because I heard about it, but I didn't get much into it.
lacks a lot of experience you would want someone in the Supreme Court to have. Like,
Yeah, I also heard something about. I just heard this from somebody, but they're like trying to like get rid of abortion, and like if you get an abortion, you'll get arrested or something like that. Did he say something like that, or is that just like a rumor?
yeah, she's anti-abortion.
Oh, she. Okay.
Yeah. And then what was that? She didn't become a judge until 2017 when Trump appointed her.
Oh, she's never been a judge before then.
You know, most of her time has been spent in academia. As like she has
Like in universities.
she has 15 years of teaching experience.
She like teach law.
Yeah, she graduated School of Law at Notre Dame, but she's never tried a case or any of that.
Oh, and then she became. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. She just doesn't have the like experience you would want.
How you gonna? Okay. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. That's okay. I don't know. Yeah, that's my new burn, I guess.
Yeah, I think like I should kind of explain a little more about like what I mean. I feel like also nowadays, like, people like to kind of think of problems as like a leak, right? And you usually take a bucket as a quick fix, just get the leak, get the bucket under the leak. But usually people, they patch up the leak, patch up the main problem. But what I see a lot of days is like people just kind of seem to replace the bucket and let the problem keep running. Replace the bucket, reset, say maybe we did something, and then when the same thing happens again, and they're like, oh, why is the bucket filling up again? It's because the main problem hasn't been solved. And to me, it's just a lot of like bucket swapping. You do one movement one day, social media movement one day for like a week, it stops. Nobody remembers it the next week. Like, what have you really done? You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to things that don't really create a lasting impact. People that really do things that create lasting impact, that's different. That's inspiring someone like in a different way. When you're just telling someone to go do something, and then that's like not something that takes a lot of thought or motivation on their part, especially I feel like when it comes to social media posts, a lot of people post, but they don't even really know the message that they're posting for, I feel like. And it's messed up to me that these people would do that, and just pretend like they support the cause, when in reality, they don't really know what's going on. If you really ask them, like, statistics and things like that, they probably wouldn't be able to tell you, because all they saw was make the post so you'll look like a good person. And that, to me, like, that's my burden, is that people that do that really, like, it really irks me when people just, decide that, a social media post is good enough. You know, obviously if you're posting, but you're actually going out and you're doing things, that's different. But the people that just sit in their homes all day, you know, that do that is like, I just don't get it, because it's like, to me, it's just like you're just trying to make yourself seem like a good person. I personally think that's like pretty disgusting. And if anything, that should make you look like a worse person.
Yeah.
That
I
has
feel
to
like
do
I
with,
get what you're.
oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead, Lewis.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So I feel like I get what you're saying. Just in like, I feel there's a problem to that. I guess there's like a lot of people that like play the part that social justice warrior, and like there are a lot of people that do that, but at the same time there are people that are trying to make a change. Like, but there's like it's hard getting to start at it. You know, I feel like whenever like Gandhi or MLK started, like whenever you use that example, like there's always like that beginning thing where like they're still trying to test out the water. Like, you know, like it's not like you go 100% in what like the very first step. You know, like to these people that like, let's say like post something on Instagram or something like that. That yeah, at first you might think like, wow, what are they really doing? Like, there's not like a lot of like gears going. But I feel like that like, and whenever you say like a bunch of new stuff keep popping up, it's not like it's replacing the past thing. It's more like it's just that buildup. You know, there's a lot of things that needs fixing, and we're trying to bring awareness into that. I don't think it's more of like it's replacing one or the other. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't think I'm saying it as in like it's physically replacing it. It's just, you look at realistically how we operate. Do you really think like you could focus on everything at once and try to advocate for everything at once? It's hard. It's a really hard, unrealistic expectation. And it's what happens when we receive so much like news from so many different sources. You know, what's crazy to me is that I didn't even hear or see anything about the shooting on any of my news, you know, stuff, which is insane to me. You know, that like something so close to me, like something so tragic, something so big happened, and there's not even a single piece of news about it, you know? And yet I'm getting news about some other random stuff I probably shouldn't even be caring about because it's on the other side of the world, and it's, you know, like where you should be focusing more on the problems you can actually affect. But I feel like there's so much pushing of like getting people to like get involved, even though these people can't make any real change, which I don't get. It's like, to me, it's like the people involved or the people that are affected, the country as a whole. So, you know, in this situation, it's the country as a whole. We need to stand together. You know, I really don't think it matters if great like people from the UK post about something. I think it needs to be, you know, an American thing that we need to come together. You know, like if I post something about China, no one's gonna care because I'm not in China. You know, like people that during that time when Taiwan was begging for independence from China, I could have posted something about it, but no one's gonna care about my opinion because I'm like, what is that post gonna do? You know, what is that post realistically gonna do? So like, yeah, that's kind of like my perspective on it. And yeah, you're definitely right. There's people that like actually do like seek change and like actively do stuff, and for that, that's totally respectable. Like obviously. It's just to me the people that don't do anything, but you know, just make one social media post a month, you know, call it a day, and it's like, yep, I did my good deed for the month.
Yeah.
And like I agree. That's like
activism.
I totally agree. Like people like that. That's big shit. Like you're doing that for your own like self. You know.
Self-esteem.
Yeah. But I don't know. I always just try to think of it. Like if I see that, I try to think about like maybe this person really is gonna one day make a big change or like go out of their way and research more into it and like try to figure out a difference. And it always just begins with something, you know.
Yeah.
Could begin with an Instagram post, it could not.
There's
I
nothing
guess
wrong with that.
our advice for our listeners is find an issue that you like really want to change, focus on it. It's going to take a while for you to like, you know, get the knowledge and the connections and whatever else that you need to actually fix that issue. And once you build up that, like, you know, your repertoire, then like you can actually seek change in a certain issue that you're wanting to do, and just have to find the issue that you like, you know, gives you the most drive to like seek change, and then you can leave the other issues to other people who have more passion for those issues than you do.
Yeah.
I think it was a good discussion because we had like my pessimist view, Brian's like optimist view, and then Corbin's like neutral, just commentary. You get it all.
Fucking dead.
We get it all.
Corbin brought it all around, and I like that.
Did you have
Like,
something?
I
Lewis?
totally agree.
No, I just had like I guess a pet peeve when it comes to
Burn.
like social media in general with like American mainstream culture and like entitlement and laziness. But
That's the American way, bro.
it's the American way, so
Yeah.
can't really change that. I don't really see how we could. That's all I
Yeah.
just wanted to say.
Man,
America is the
that's why I'm a
ghetto.
pessimist.
I
Yeah,
can
bro.
see
Yeah,
that.
bro, it just takes time. I swear,
Time, bro. I mean, like, if you just look at the Civil War.
Well, hold on. I'm wondering what Hoangnha is burnt up about.
Oh yeah, burnt. What do you say? Burnt up house?
Besides Amy.
Yeah, mine was about Amy.
Oh yeah. Anyway, else kind of burned.
Minecraft Steve and Super Smash Brothers.
Oh my god, I saw
What
that. Like, what the heck?
What'd you say?
Minecraft Steve and Super
Minecraft Steve, dude.
I actually don't know how I feel about it. To be honest.
I haven't played him yet.
I heard he's OP, but
Don't.
all new characters
It's
are.
Steve,
so.
and then he brings
Yeah.
out Alex
Bro, Hero is
Oh,
OP.
he brings out Alex.
and Herobrine too.
Wait, what's his on?
Super Smash Brothers.
Oh. Oh damn.
They really brought Minecraft Steve, man. My cousin predicted it too, and I told him, "You're out of your mind." Damn. You should have listened.
I was like, you're capping hard. There's no way they're gonna put Minecraft Steve on there.
right?
Bro, Smash
Randy
tournament. I'm getting Steve. I'm about to build.
You better ban his ass. He's OP. I heard.
We already had a Smash tournament.
Yeah, but
Now with everybody.
DLC characters. He didn't have them.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, he don't have the DLC.
Oh, he
Y'all
did.
can have the new characters. I always main Kirby, whether I win or lose.
Oh, I made Ness.
consistent.
So
Bro, I mean,
I like.
64.
I like.
I'm pretty good at Piranha Plant.
I'm
Come
toxic.
see me in this mallet.
I'm
Anonymous.
toxic. I play
Anonymous.
Meta Knight.
Wow, we gotta. Who got it on this?
Mr. Game and Watch. Like you're thinking
Hard.
of?
No.
Give me
Dude,
one.
Pichu is where it's at. This man's small, fast, agile, got decent damage.
Nah, Pichu.
I like. What's that
No,
dude?
usually
Chang.
being small and fast isn't a good thing. What were you saying?
Oh my god.
That's the real. Welcome to the real burn session.
That's the burn of
I
the.
know, dang.
Yikes! We
So
could get into
couldn't
this.
be me.
Oh. Yeah, we could really
Yeah,
get into
please.
that, but I guess that would be for another swig of brown mouthwash. Thank you guys so much for. Damn, that was great. Thank you guys for being here and joining me on this episode of Brown Mouthwash. Again, to all the listeners, I was joined today by Lewis, Brian, Corbin, Justin, and Hoangnha. And I think we had a really great conversation, guys. So again, if you guys who are listening or watching or whatever enjoy this week's episode of Brown Mouthwash, let us know. Follow us on social media at Brown Mouthwash Pod on Instagram and Facebook. You can email us at brownmouthwash@gmail.com. And of course, stay tuned every Monday for new episodes of Brown Mouthwash to start your week fresh. I'm your host again, Matthew, and I guess we'll be back next time for
What is that
Brown
noise?
Mouthwash.
Any sponsors
And
watching?
goodbye.
Ryan
Comment,
sounds.
like, subscribe.
Bye.